Okay, so have you ever felt just like completely trapped inside your own head? You know that feeling where your mind just grabs onto something, maybe a conversation or a decision or some worry about the future, and it just won't let go.
Oh, absolutely. It just replays everything, dissects every little detail.
Yeah, endless what ifs. It's like this mental treadmill, right? You feel like you're working so hard mentally, but you're just getting exhausted.
Totally exhausted.
Yeah.
And it's so common. That's actually what we're diving into today. We're calling it anxiety, overcoming the overthinking mirage.
Hmm.
And we're pulling some really fascinating insights from this great conversation we looked at called Anxiety, Why We Overthink, and How to Stop.
And what really jumped out at me right away was this core idea that overthinking isn't really helpful. It's more like an illusion of control.
Mm.
We sort of trick ourselves, don't we? Thinking if we just analyze everything, every angle, every word, every possible disaster, we can somehow stop bad things from happening. It feels responsible.
It really does feel responsible. That's the sneaky part of this mirage concept.
Mm.
But the source material is pretty clear that intense analysis, it's not productivity, it's actually described as a mental trap.
Mm. Yeah, instead of leading to solutions, it just fuels this cycle of anxiety and, crucially, inaction. You feel busy up here.
In your head.
Exactly, but you're not actually moving. The source uses this great image. You're on a mental hamster wheel going nowhere.
A mental hamster wheel, that's perfect. It just captures that feeling of spinning and spinning.
And you get worn out before you even need to tackle the real thing, if there even is a real thing to tackle sometimes.
Right. So our mission today then is to help you, our listener, start to see that mirage when it pops up, understand, why it happens. And then this is the important part, get some real practical tools to start dismantling that habit. The goal is to move towards something more, well, grounded, more empowering, really. And that word habit is key here. The source really emphasizes this. Overthinking isn't like a fixed personality trait. It's not just who you are. It's something we've practiced. We've done it over and over, maybe without realizing, until it became the default reaction to uncertainty or, stress.
Which is actually kind of good news, isn't it?
It's great news.
Yeah.
Because if we learned it, if we created that habit,
We can unlearn it. We can build new habits.
exactly, it puts the power back in your court. It's not about blaming yourself.
Mhm.
It's about understanding a pattern you've developed, a pattern that you can actively change.
Okay, so that shift in perspective is huge. From I'm just an overthinker to I have an overthinking habit I can work on.
Precisely. And a very first step in working on it, before you can change anything, is you have to recognize the mirage itself. You got to catch yourself in the act. Become aware of when you're actually stuck in that unproductive loop. There's apparently this subtle shift.
Ah, the shift. Tell us about that.
Well, it's this shift from genuinely productive thinking,
Mm-hmm.
where you're actually problem solving, weighing options, making decisions, which is healthy, to unproductive rumination.
Rumination. Okay, so that's different from problem solving. How?
Yeah, rumination is basically just replaying the same anxious thoughts again and again. You're not getting new insights. There's no progress towards a solution. It's like,
Stare at the same two puzzle pieces over and
yes,
over.
instead of trying to fit them somewhere new. So once you spot that, okay, I'm not solving, I'm just spinning on the hamster wheel,
Mm-hmm.
how do you get off?
This is where the practical stuff comes in. What strategies did our sources suggest?
Okay, one really interesting one is called worry time. It sounds a bit counterintuitive, maybe.
Worry time, like schedule time to worry.
Pretty much. It's not about stopping the worry, but containing it.
Yeah.
You set aside a specific, limited time each day, say 15 minutes at 4 p.m., just for your worries.
Okay, so what happens when a worry pops up at like 10 a.m.?
You acknowledge it. You say, okay, brain, I hear you. We'll deal with this at 4 p.m. You essentially make an appointment with the worry.
And does that work? It feels like you just ignore the appointment.
Well, the source suggests something quite powerful happens. Often, when 4 p.m. comes, you may find that the urgency has already faded.
Ah, interesting. Why does that work?
A couple of reasons, it seems. First, you're not fighting the thought, telling it no, which often just makes it louder, right? You're saying later.
Okay, so it reduces the struggle.
Exactly. It creates a boundary between you and the thought. You're disengaging without suppressing. And psychologically, it helps you get some distance, see the thought more objectively. By the time 4 p.m. rolls around, it might seem smaller, less consuming, or you might even have forgotten about it.
I like that. Putting a container around it. Okay, that's good for those background nagging worries. But what about when you feel that spiral starting right now, that sudden whoosh of overthinking?
Right, for the in-the-moment attacks. For that, there's another technique, incredibly simple, called the 5-second rule.
The 5-second rule. I think I've heard of this. Mel Robbins, right?
That's the one. And the idea is to break the spell before the overthinking really digs its claws in. It's about interrupting the inaction that lets the thoughts spin.
Okay, so how does it work? Walk us through it.
It's almost ridiculously simple. The moment you feel yourself starting down that rabbit hole, you literally count backward from 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And then this is the crucial part. You take an action. Any action. It doesn't have to be big or related to the worry.
Like what?
The examples given were things like get up and get a glass of water, send a quick text message, or just take one deep breath. Tiny things.
And why does that work? Counting and getting water.
Because overthinking, as the source puts it, thrives in the mental void of inaction. When we're physically still, our minds can just win and spin. But when you introduce movement, even a tiny bit, you introduce a new, more powerful reality.
Okay. So the counting backward engages the thinking part of your brain.
Your prefrontal cortex, yeah. It shifts you out of that reactive mode. And the physical action, however small, literally pulls you out of your head and into your body. That's a pattern interrupted, a circuit breaker. It stops the spiral gaining momentum. Doesn't solve the underlying issue, maybe, but it creates space.
Introduce a new, more powerful reality. I really like that framing. Okay, but let's be real. Sometimes the reality does feel genuinely hard. What if the overthinking is tied to a specific, real problem? We're not just worrying vaguely. We think we need to plan for every disaster scenario.
That's a really important distinction, and the sources addresses directly. When the overthinking feels tied to something concrete, they suggest asking yourself one very simple but crucial question.
Okay, what's the question?
Is this a problem I can solve right now, or is it a problem I can only worry about?
Ooh, that cuts through it, doesn't it? Because honestly, so much worry is about stuff we can't fix in this exact moment. Future events, things outside our control.
Exactly. So if the answer is, nope, can't solve it right now, if it's what the source calls a worry problem, then what?
Then what? Just keep worrying.
No, this is where radical acceptance comes in.
Radical acceptance. Okay, sounds intense. What does it mean in this context?
It doesn't mean you have to like the situation or approve of it. Not at all.
Yeah.
It means accepting the reality that right now, this thing is outside your immediate control. You acknowledge that reality, you stop mentally fighting against it, which is exhausting in itself. And then here's the critical next step. You consciously shift your focus.
Shift your focus where?
To something you can control, something you can take action on right here, right now, even if it's small. It's about wisely using your energy where it can actually have an impact.
That connects back to something really deep, doesn't it? This whole idea that we think worrying somehow changes the future. Like, if we worry hard enough, we'll prevent the bad thing.
Right, that's the illusion.
But the source puts it so powerfully. Worrying only robs us of the present. Wow. Just think about that. We're literally trading our peace of mind, our present moment, for an outcome we can't influence anyway. That's quite a realization.
It really is.
Yeah.
And when you see it that way, it changes the calculation, doesn't it? You start thinking, is this worry worth sacrificing my peace right now?
Yeah. So if we pull all these threads together, the worry time, the 5-second rule, this crucial question, radical acceptance, what's the bigger goal here?
The bigger picture seems to be about shifting away from trying to control every single possibility, which is impossible anyway. Instead, the aim is to cultivate a sense of trust in ourselves. Trust in our ability to actually handle things as they come up. Building resilience, not trying to build a perfect, worry-proof future.
That feels much more solid, more doable, trusting yourself to cope versus trying to predict and prevent everything.
Exactly. The source calls that a much more grounded and empowering reality.
Yeah.
It's based on your capacity, not on endless mental gymnastics about things that might never happen.
Okay, so for everyone listening, what's the core takeaway? If they remember one thing.
I'd say it's stop buying into the mirage that overthinking is helping you. Recognize it's a habit, a cycle.
And then use these tools to break that cycle. Give worries an appointment, use the 5-second countdown to act, ask yourself if you can solve it now.
Yeah, and consciously choose where you put your energy on things you can influence, not things you can only worry about.
It really comes down to a choice, doesn't it? Between staying on that exhausting hamster wheel or stepping off.
Choosing action over anxiety. Courage over constant worry. It sounds like a path towards, well, a more peaceful life, more present.
Absolutely. Okay, so just to quickly recap those key strategies for you again. First, spotting the mirage, noticing when productive thinking slips into that repetitive, unhelpful rumination.
hmm Then, using worry time, scheduling a specific limited time for worries to create boundaries.
And the 5-second rule, counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and taking immediate action, any action, to break the spiral.
And finally, asking that powerful question, can I solve this right now or only worry about it? Which leads you to either targeted action or radical acceptance.
And it's good to hear this isn't just theoretical. The experts in the source material actually use this stuff themselves.
Yeah. One mentioned setting a 15-minute timer for an issue, deal with it, brainstorm, research, whatever, for those 15 minutes, and physically put it away. Move on. Trust that was enough for now.
That's a great, concrete way to apply the worry time idea. And for me, that question is sticking. Can I solve this right now?
Hmm.
I'm really going to try and ask that more. If it's yes, okay, plan a time. If it's no,
Pivot. Get up. Do something else. Bring yourself back to the present.
exactly, that immediate action to shift your state.
It makes such a difference.
So let's leave you with this final thought from the source. It's quite beautiful. Remember, a worried mind sees a mirage. A mindful mind sees the truth.
That's good.
Think about that this week. How can you maybe look past the mirage a bit more? How can you cultivate that mindful perspective and step into what's actually true right here and now? Something to definitely ponder.